Welcome EHS 300. This next set of videos are going to focus primarily on drinking water treatment. There's a nice video that I provide from the region of Peel in Canada. It's probably one of the best videos introducing folks to how drinking water plants operate. It's our best shot at giving you all a video field trip. And then I'll also do a Google image kind of thing for you guys with Google Maps to let you see the Richmond water plant. But for now, I'm going to jump into the actual slides that you've got. So we're focusing on how to purify water, and then that also gets into also disinfection after you've done the purification steps. So, all right, safe drinking water. That's what we're after. So the Safe Drinking Water Act, we'll discuss it a little bit, and then we'll speak to the different steps in purification. So, the Safe Drinking Water Act, it was created and enacted by Congress in 1974. So in 1970, the EPA is created. The National Environmental Policy Act creates the EPA. 1972, the surface waters are addressed through the Clean Water Act. And after the Clean Water Act comes the Safe Drinking Water Act. So in 1974, the Clean Water Act is still operational, but we're focusing here on the Safe Drinking Water Act. And the Safe Drinking Water Act applies to public water systems. So does not include well water users or private water users. The only well water users it would require to follow it are people that are serving 25 or more people. So that's what makes it a public system. Serves 25 or more people per day and does this over 60 days per year. So if you're operating a campsite or a major event that has thousands of people show up, it's not a public system unless it's operating 60 days per year. Now, health departments would definitely be involved in any large event that has like 1,000 people or a large number of people, that they're going to want to make sure that they have access to safe drinking water. So health departments get involved in that. But the EPA, Safe Drinking Water Act, says that if you're operating 60 days per year or more and water is being provided to 25 or more people per day, it has to comply with this law. This law requires the actual states, or the states have signed on, they've been delegated, and they've agreed to help make sure that this law is fully enacted. So the Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Cabinet, or now the Energy and Environment Cabinet's got a division of water that is responsible for ensuring compliance. We have in Kentucky, I'm on a board, and it's our board for the certification of drinking water operators, to make sure that the operators are credentialed and that they're following the law. The Safe Drinking Water Act ensures that these operators follow the law. The Safe Drinking Water Act doesn't just set standards. It also says how often the testing has to occur, which methods need to be used. Do they have to be EPA approved or compliant methods? The frequency of testing, like how often. Also the methods for reporting. So are the results being reported, and are they being reported in a way that discourages or prevents misconduct? And the consumers must be able to see the results. So periodically, because these reports have to go out, and if there's failures, that the citizens have to know, sometimes water board members or commissioners or mayors or judge execs, they sometimes want to meddle because they don't want their water system to look bad in the eyes of the public. They know that these things have to be reported if they hit certain levels. So sometimes Malfunctioning systems have to be reported and consumers get to see the results. And sometimes that makes ethical things come up. All right. The Safe Drinking Water Act allows the U.S. EPA to set new standards that can be more tighter than the old standards, or they can relax them based upon the best available science. There are two types of standards here, primary and secondary. Primary standards focus on the health. Secondary standards pertain to like whether or not something's more of like a nuisance or has an economic impact. Primary standards are enforceable by law. These are the maximum permissible levels of potentially harmful substances in the water. We're interested in water safety here. These are enforceable by law from the Safe Drinking Water Act. Secondary standards include things like taste, color, odor, hardness. This is water quality, not safety. These are not enforceable by law. Communities may not like having nasty water, but if it's not making them sick, the EPA is not weighing in. In some cases, though, aesthetic aspects like orange or hard water or taste issues may make folks be thinking about water safety. And sometimes these things go hand in hand together, as in the case of Flint, Michigan. And we'll talk about Flint and the lead issues more later on in this section. Primary standards. Primary standards have maximum contaminant or maximum disinfection levels. These are designed to protect a person if they were to be drinking 2 liters of that water per day for their lifetime. These are set to prevent adverse health effects, whether it be acute or whether it be chronic. We don't want people getting cancer from drinking disinfection byproducts in their water or arsenic in their water. We don't want people having neurological conditions because of something that's occurring in their water. We also are worried about vulnerable populations. Are pregnant women going to be drinking this water? All right, next, maximum contaminant level goals. These are where the best available technology says that we could take it. For things that cause cancer, we think that they should be 0. The limit should be 0. We want no carcinogens in our water. That's the goal. But these are not enforceable. So even though this is what we want to do, they're not enforceable. The MCLs and the maximum disinfection levels as well, those are enforceable. MCLGs, not enforceable. The Safe Drinking Water Act requires consumer confidence reports. If you rent, your landowner or landlord gets the report. If you live at a house, every water utility is required to notify people that the report's available. It used to have to go out by mail, but they notify folks using public means like social media as well as the websites to view your reports. These reports, if there's nothing that's major in a given year, you'll only see this once a year, and it's often made at the end of the year. The state, though, in terms of public notification, the right to know about what's going on with your water, the state must be notified within 48 hours of any violation of a primary standard. And if you've exceeded your E. coli levels or there's some other thing that's in the water that's exceeded an MCL, the state is required to be notified. That could be turbidity levels exceed 1.0 NTUs. It could be a high amount of E. coli. The state is required to be notified. Additionally, notification of these confirmed violations also have to go out by mail, newspaper, radio, and television broadcast. and in some cases with respect to things that are like turbidity or E. coli, where infectious disease risk may be present, boil water advisories go out that way as well. So that's a little bit on the Safe Drinking Water Act. We're going to now get into the water treatment videos here and how water is treated at the water plants, and we'll also do a video tour of the Madison County, Richmond Utilities like water plant from the aerial view, and they'll include pictures in the PowerPoint. So that's all for now. If you have any questions on the Safe Drinking Water Act, feel free to email me at jason.marion@eku.edu. All right, thank you.